All right, folks, it's Friday, April 4th, and XRP is moving back up. In this update, we're going to break down here the response on the tariff trade war starting to heat up a little bit, statements from Chair Jerome Powell of the Fed, and then we have Trump also calling out Jerome at the very same time. So a little bit of an interesting Friday morning to start things off here with XRP bouncing back up above $2.15, showing incredible strength. And I'm going to pull up the chart for you guys to show you just how quick that move below $2 came and went. Hopefully you were able to take advantage of it because the XRP strength is on display. Judy Shelton with the breakdown here. Energy prices are coming down, dollars coming down against currencies of U.S. trading partners, interest rates are coming down. These are all stated economic objectives that are part of the transformation to an economy powered by the private sector. Real economic growth trumps government's overspending and increasing financialization of GDP. Here's a nice little good breakdown as well too. This little TikTok video, Trump actually retweeted this out on Truth Social. So take a quick look here at this one. I want to make sure you guys can see this. Let's pull this up right there. There we go.
Trump is crashing the stock market by 20% this month, but he's doing it on purpose. And this is why Warren Buffett just said Trump is making the best economic moves he's seen in over 50 years. Now, here's the secret game he's playing, and it could make you rich. So why is he doing this? To push cash into treasuries, which forces the Fed to slash interest rates in May, and those lower rates give the Fed the ability to refinance trillions of debt very inexpensively. It also weakens the dollar and drops mortgage rates. Now, it's a wild chess move, but it's working. Now, you're probably wondering, what about his tariffs? Well, I'll tell you, it's a genius play. It actually forces companies to build here to dodge them. It also forces farmers to sell more of their products here in the U.S. to bring grocery prices way down. We've already seen this with eggs. Now, remember, 94% of all stocks are owned only by 8% of Americans. So Trump, he's taking from the rich short term and handing it to the middle class through lower prices.
Now, the thing about this, though, is that this is not a wild chess move. If you understand Trump, and as I've noted in some recent updates here, if you research Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, this is very well calculated and thought out, and they're getting exactly what they wanted. In fact, if we've actually seen the Treasury's 10-year Treasury bond actually went below 4% here today, so that's a 3 handle on the Treasuries. And this, the treasuries were at 4.8 on that 10-year when Trump took office. So they've essentially cut interest rates here by nearly 100 basis points. We're approaching that level. It's been about 80 basis points so far. That's equivalent to the Fed cutting rates by 80 basis points, right? So they've got interest rate cuts. The stock market's been sacrificed, but only a small handful, and not a handful, but a small percentage of Americans own stocks in any sort of significant way. Now, am I playing this off lightly that, there are Americans that are seeing their 401ks and retirement accounts get squeezed? No. That's why I've been pounding the table about, hey, don't be over leveraged. Don't be full of Meg 7 tech stocks and think that you're just going to be able to sit on a bag of that and it's going to be fine forever. But as we've noted, you got a financial assassin in our Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. This is not a wild chess move. These are not random decisions. Very well thought out and calculated, and they're getting exactly what they intended. Now, Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking this morning says that President Trump's tariffs are bigger than expected and risking higher inflation and slower growth. Once again, most Americans are going to be okay with some short-term, inflation, some short-term price bumps, and slower growth. Yeah, in the short term, but where this takes us is into an economic boom and a golden age, unlike any that we've seen in recent history, is what's going to happen on the other side of this. And so, once again, this is the plan. They're going to be sticking to it, and President Trump calling them out. This would be a perfect time for Fed Chair Jerome Powell to cut interest rates. He is always late and wrong as far as that transitory inflation. Yeah. But he could now change his image, and quickly. Energy prices are down, interest rates are down, inflation is down, even eggs are down 69%, and jobs are up. All within 2 months, a big win for America. Cut interest rates, Jerome, and stop playing politics. Now, Jerome Powell responding today saying that's why he wears a purple tie, because he doesn't want to play politics, that It's not even that they're, bipartisan. They just don't do politics at all, even though he did give the Biden economy and administration a couple rate cuts leading up to that election. Was that playing politics? 100%. And even with that measure, and the bond market was right in calling the Fed's bluff. The bonds sold off and actually went up to 4.8%. When Trump took office, we were nearly at 5% for that 10-year. Even though the Fed was cutting rates, the bond market gave Jerome Powell a big you-know-what, and that bond yield went up to nearly 5%. Through Trump's actions here, that bond on the 10-year all the way down below 4%. Massive, well-executed plan here, and we're continuing to see oil prices currently on track for their largest two-day loss since April of 2020 as market prices in recession. Another thing that's going to happen here is groceries are going to come down. And this is why I say, some cheap goods might not be as cheap from China anymore. But when your grocery bill goes from $400 when you go to Costco, $500 when you go to Costco, down to $300, $350, Americans are going to be more than happy with the results. And it's going to happen because farmers are going to be forced to sell more product here in the United States than shipping it overseas to, China and other countries, which many of our farmers were doing. Now they're going to be selling more of that back home. That'll be more supply, and that's going to be driving prices down for groceries. This is the real stuff that we need. Your cheap crap from China is going to go up in price, and we will live. We are going to live just fine. Maybe we didn't need all this cheap crap from China, and maybe we could build some of it better back home. Yeah. Short-term pain, the sacrifice is going to be worth it. And if you have been positioned how we have been, our assets are still moving up in a major way. Now, we're already seeing the countries come to the table. Vietnam's general secretary says they want to cut tariffs down to zero if they are able to make an agreement with the United States. Nike has over 500,000 employees in Vietnam, and their stock is spiking this morning on this news that Vietnam wants to come to the table. President Trump speaking with Vietnam this morning, and we're already getting great results. Argentina going to cut their tariffs down to zero. Israel already cutting their tariffs down to zero. Vietnam is the next one. They're going to be taking it down to 5% or maybe zero. Other countries bringing them down as well too. And so the plan is working according to plan, and the American people and the American workers are going to be benefiting in a major, major way. Now, what's interesting about what took place yesterday, the hedge funds sold stocks at the largest one-day amount since 2010. Meanwhile, retail investors bought $4.7 billion of stocks on Thursday, a 10-year high. Today, the S&P 500 has erased another $1.5 trillion of market cap, bringing two-day losses to $3.5 trillion. Did retail just get trapped by Wall Street? They did. And this is why it hurts me. It pains me. I'm not making fun of like the average trader, or that's who I will make fun of is the trader and the speculator that is still in the tech stocks and still in the overvalued stocks that are coming back down for a healthy correction. That's somebody that I'm fine making a joke at. It is not a joke to me that regular Americans' 401ks are getting smacked because their financial advisors told them stick in that 60-40 portfolio. Keep holding the S&P 500. Keep holding these high-flying tech stocks that are completely overvalued, completely disconnected from fundamental value. I feel for those people. And that's the pain that we're seeing right now. While Wall Street sold off the largest amount in 10 years, retail has been trained like bots to buy the dip. And I'm going to speak about the XRP family buying the dip. But see, we've been trained here to buy the dip on real value, on assets that are below fundamental value. The masses out here have been trained to buy the dip like bots on the stuff that's already overvalued, and even though it's corrected, is still overvalued in my opinion. Meanwhile, on the flip side, we've been trained like bots to buy XRP and suppressed assets. That's the difference, and that's why our portfolio has been doing so well here recently, because we bought suppressed assets that are now being set free, and they're moving towards fundamental. See what the market is here. The market is and the way it functions is it takes asset prices towards fundamental value over the long term. So assets that are undervalued and suppressed eventually they will rise. It's like the old saying, they're the beach ball underneath the water. Eventually you let it go, it's going to fly. That's XRP, that's utility cryptocurrencies, cryptos that are based in America. They're being set free. On the flip side, the stock market overvalued, it's in correction territory and coming back down towards fundamental value. See, when we have true free markets, what the markets demonstrate to us is the fundamental value of all of these assets. And when we get intervention, when we get Fed money printing, when we get circuit breakers shut down, all of this intervention is what keeps us from moving towards fundamental value. That's essentially our markets in a nutshell right now, and why we've seen such a rise in XRP and our utility cryptocurrencies. We got whale movements, 66 million XRP being transferred from an unknown wallet to an unknown wallet. I mean, we really don't know where that's going, but we're just tracking these huge whale movements and the whales accumulating. And I said it yesterday, whether you just bought $50 worth of XRP or you bought $50,000 worth of XRP, the XRP family showed up, and we're taking advantage of a suppressed asset that is on its way up towards fundamental value. And that's the difference between XRP and the rest of the space right now, which is in shambles. Not just the rest of the cryptocurrency space, but the rest of the markets as a whole. Take a look at it on the chart. And this is what I warned about, is how quick it would come and how quick it would go. I am zoomed in on the 15-minute chart right now. And what we see right here, these are all 15-minute candles. Okay. So you broke down below here. I put a new line here at $2 just so we could get some perspective on this. So we broke below $2. You got 15, 30, about 45 minutes here below $2. Then we came back down, 15, 30, 45, an hour. You got about an hour and a half where it went down below $2. And then you had one last tap down here, just about 15 minutes or so, where XRP was below $2. So it came and it went, and now what did we do today? All the way back up to $2.16 for XRP. As I record this update, we're at about 210, but you're seeing XRP strength on display. The resiliency of this asset, even Bitcoin held up decently today, but XRP, it's just even better. It's even stronger. And I think that the upside potential on XRP is going to be a lot greater than Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrencies for the rest of this bull run. And so I just want to say congratulations to everybody in the community that took advantage of this dip. You guys were prepared. I tried to do my part to warn everybody about this timeline, right? Downside into Liberation Day, April 2nd. Take advantage of it if you need to accumulate some more, right? I'm kind of done with my accumulation, so I just sat back. I put out the warning for everybody else, and I let you guys buy the dip. I let you guys get some more XRP. And that's why we've been chilling through this whole moment in time here. We sit back, we study Trump, we study Scott Bessent. He's a financial assassin. Many people don't understand this. And that's why they're left in the dust here while we've invested in the proper assets that are set to move up towards fundamental value, while everybody else is still holding on and buying $4.7 billion worth of stocks that still have downside action towards fundamental value. That's the discrepancy between who's going to win and who's going to lose in these markets right now. And we want to get you guys on the right side of this transfer of wealth. So if you appreciate what we're doing, make sure you guys like this video, help me out by sharing it out far and wide, and tune back in tonight where I'm going to be airing the interview with the CEO of Constellation Network, Ben Jorgensen. That's going to be airing at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be in the chat watching along with you guys as we premiere this interview. I think that you guys are really going to like this conversation. Another utility crypto based in America. You can imagine I might just be a little bit bullish on this one. Okay, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. See you there. And the Discord weekly call will be tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Go to my website, zachrector.com. You sign up through Patreon to get access to Discord, and you can join us in the weekly conversations, along with having access to me 24/7, 365. Maybe not quite 24/7, but hey, anytime you want, you can reach out, and we'd be glad to help you out in the Discord group. Okay? We'll see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.